The ego is what creates so much of our problems. So many of our issues in this life are created by the part of us, the part of our physical incarnation, right? Is our ego, our concept of self, right? In the physical world, of the physical realm, right? Not as deep as the soul, right? One good differentiation to have. Very basic, by the way. The ego is part of our tether to this physical realm, right? All of our personality and these different habits of being that we, grow over time, we grow into, they control how we feel about the world. They control how life really seems to be, right? And our idea of the world, right? Our ego has a lot to do with when we, someone says something and it makes us feel some type of way, right? Because they're saying something that goes against our identity, our self-identity, right? That's a whole nother idea is the identity of oneself, which is part of the ego, right? I consider myself to be this and that and that, but you may not consider me to be that, right? And if my ego has control over me and I'm very easily, made angry, you saying something that goes against my identity about me, that might send me into a rage, right? And that's why people fight and kill one another over silly issues, right? We've all seen it before. So what is that? What is that differentiates us as souls and as deeper beings to partly animal, right? Having these concepts of self that something as simple as a word or a sentence can send us into violence and rage and take one's soul from their body, right? Isn't that odd? That we're all created equal. We all are humans, one and the same. Our soul is one and the same. But we develop earthly ideas and tethers to the world that force us to fight against one another and see one another different in a way that causes harm amongst one another in a lot of situations, right? What is that? A lot of that is, again, our tether to the world as it is, the physical realm. And most people, what happens nowadays, a lot of people avoid spirituality as a whole, right? They're repulsed by anything spiritual, right? And there's many different issues to talk about, right? Like the repulsion of religious matters. A lot of times it's understandable, in my opinion, right? Because there are so many religions out there nowadays that really aren't based in true spirituality and the true religion, in my opinion. Why do I say that? Well, there are so many religions out there that spread hate and spread closed-mindedness against one another, right? And what is that? Why? How can we be closed-minded to another human? Right? Now, there's right and wrong. We have to know what's right and wrong. But if we truly want to influence somebody to have a better decision or a better sense of morals, we must first listen to them and see where they're really coming from. Right? Because we really don't know where anybody's coming from until we really start to learn about them. And even then, you can't go back to their childhood and live their entire life to know their entire frame of perception. But you can acknowledge the fact that you are one and the same with each and every one of them. That there is a soul in each and every one of us. And though some drown it out, sweep it under the rug and avoid it their entire life and maybe go against it, like so many do nowadays, somewhere in there is a soul that is one and the same with you. No matter your religion, no matter what you've done with your life. And just that idea can bring so much to light, right? But not if you have a religious tether to the world. If your religion tethers you to this world, that's not what religion is about. That's not what spirituality is about. Spirituality, religion, it should be about, hey, we are one and the same with God. We should act in God's image, or whatever your whatever your God God's idea is, right? With any religion. Let's make the world a better place. Because think about it. What would be the point of religion otherwise? Right? Make the world a better place. Don't do bad. Have good morals. Like, be your true self. What else would it be about? Right? But what happens is at some point there was some sort of control, some sort of money, some sort of evil that seeped its way into every religion that is out there. Right? And so there are a lot of people out there nowadays that spread closed-mindedness and hatred of others. And they think they're the most religious person. Right? Or they might even hate themselves. But they're religious, so it's okay. No, that's a load of shit. Okay? To be spiritual, religious, is not to be tethered to this world. Not to be tethered in the third dimension into the things, your pleasures, and these things that we have, these material substances. Right? Started with ego, and it all ties in together. Instead of religion bringing most people to a spiritual aspect nowadays, it brings us to an egotistical aspect where we don't realize that our soul is what is connecting all of us, and that we can connect to a higher power to be a vessel to make the world a better place in any religion. But we become egotistical, and we become tied to whatever it is in this world, whatever substance or whatever form of sustenance that we find that isn't true. It's material. It's a simulation. It's false. Alright? So if you find yourself striking out in ego and hurting people, or maybe you don't view it as that, but maybe you just being you repulses like everybody or the people you really love, take a step back and analyze who it is that you are, who it is that you are acting out of, right? If you're a religious person and you find yourself spreading hate, you find yourself being closed-minded to anything other than what you've learned, it could be trouble, man. Unless you stick to the same group of people who have always done that with you and taught you that. But is that what life's all about? Is life about just sticking to your same one little clique and never learning anything new? And once you learn a little bit, that's it? That's all you need to do? No, life is about learning, about everything. To know what you don't want, to know what you do like. And having the right basis of understanding to know what is right. Right? So, hope this helps. If you got something from it, comment below. Let me know what you liked. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Yeah. See you on the next one.